Okay, so this is a sort of idea or thesis I have been developing for some time. So, you see all these people complaining, whether it's online or in real life. Oh, well, look at these big corporations, look at what they're doing. Or look at these politicians, look at what they're doing. Oh my God, look at this wealth transfer. The largest transfer of wealth again. So I guess the last record for the largest transfer of wealth was 2008. Then just last year we had the new record for the largest transfer of wealth. Oh, look at this, look at that. So politicians have always been scam artists. The media has always been full of shit. There was a time, if you go look at the at correspondence between people and just, whatever primary sources you can find from over 100 years ago, 150 years, well, let's say in the Gilded Age up until and through World War One and up until World War Two, people were much more skeptical of the media as far as I could tell. And they were also a lot more skeptical of politicians. And they were also, most of these people, the average person in America around the year 1900, you know, didn't go to college, didn't have nearly the quote level of education we have today, but I bet you they knew more about history than the average person does today. You know. But so everybody complains, oh, look at BlackRock or whatever, some other company. They're scooping up all these houses. Oh my God, this is terrible. But it is the American people who are allowing them to do this. It's the American people who stand idly by. They vote for the same people as long as they have the right letter after their name. They watch they sit in front of the TV and drool and watch the same TV shows. That's slowly dying down. They believe the same lies over and over again. They refuse to acknowledge history exists. They refuse to acknowledge history at all. And then they wonder how this could be happening. Politicians have always been scam artists. Media has always been full of shit. Corporations, companies, capitalists, even socialists. They've always been greedy and power hungry. The problem is you. The problem is you. The problem is the people. If the people allow them to transfer wealth like they did last year, if the people allow them to lock down mom and pop shops across the country while leaving Walmart open, and then you're going to complain about how there's a transfer of wealth and how terrible this is, you let them do it. You let them shut down 30% of small businesses last year, put 30% of small businesses out of business for good, enriching Amazon, enriching Walmart, all the tech companies. You let them do it, so why shouldn't they? You know? If you see somebody get scammed or something on the street, and it's just a absolute obvious scam, and you try to tell them, hey dude, that's a scam, they say, no, I don't believe it's a scam. I'm too smart to be scammed. That's that human pride coming in. If you see someone getting scammed like that and they go ahead and they let themselves get scammed anyways, how bad for them can you feel? How bad can you feel for them? And that's what's happening here in this country is we got a bunch of ignorant people. Ignorant, especially in history. And I think part of that might be by design to some extent, not to get conspiratorial, but the Department of Education does exist, and it's huge. And it does have control over curriculum. They do keep the Pentagon Papers out of any high school and most college textbooks. Think about this. You can go into any high school history, U.S. history. Let's say it's the second. Usually they divide U.S. history into up to the Civil War or just after that, and then from then to modern times. So let's say you're talking about the second half of U.S. history, if they even teach it. This is what they used to do. So you will find in every U.S. history book, the Gulf of Tonkin is mentioned as our reason for entering the war. Nowhere is it mentioned that the government lied about the Gulf of Tonkin and we found out about it. Unequivocally found out about it. It is not disputable because we have memos that were leaked from the Department of Defense that the government lied about the Gulf of Tonkin to get us into Vietnam War. The government said when the Gulf of Tonkin occurred that the Tonkin the destroyer was attacked unprovoked. It was in international waters. It was attacked unprovoked by the North Vietnamese. Well, the Pentagon Papers, which Daniel Ellsberg almost went to prison for because the government tried to, put him in prison for publishing them, even though, the Supreme Court exonerated him or said that you cannot. So basically, people should know about this, and a lot of people do because there was a movie recently, The Post, which didn't do the whole situation justice. Daniel Ellsberg was prosecuted by the government for publishing, the Pentagon Papers, which contained memos and other documents, official documents, indisputable, proving that the government lied about the Gulf of Tonkin in order to get us in the Vietnam War. We actually attacked the North Vietnamese. We did it on purpose to get them to attack us so we can claim it was an unprovoked attack, and so that we can get public support, which they did, for the Vietnam War. You're going to have a hard time finding that in any high school history textbook or even college history textbook. So that relates to maybe there is some design, maybe there is some effort to keep Americans ignorant of history. But I'll tell you who's not ignorant of history. The politicians are not ignorant of history. The people in charge are not ignorant of history. They know history very well. They're taking plays from whoever they can. They're taking plays from the Nazis and the fascists of Italy, and they're using them to control people. Divide and conquer, instill fear in people, fear. It's a tried and true tactic. They know history, but they're going to make sure you don't. But there's no excuse now. There's no excuse not to know history. There's no excuse not to at least be curious. If you're upset about the way the world's going, but you don't know why, just read your history. But the problem is the American people. It's the people, okay? If the people are going to allow the politicians to do what they're doing, if they're going to allow their corporate cronies to do what they're doing, can you blame them? Can you blame them? Whose fault is it really? Ask yourself that question. Think about that. Don't have much else to say, but just think about that. Who's really to blame? If you walk right into a scam and people tell you it's a scam, I know I was screaming from the rooftops last year about these lockdowns. I knew right away, and I have the receipts online to prove this, and everybody who knows me knows I was screaming from the rooftops. These lockdowns were not going to do anything to control an airborne coronavirus. But see, ignorant Americans decided, oh, well, I'm not going to look into this. I'm not going to think about this. I'm just going to trust what politicians say. I'm just going to trust what the news says, who's sponsored by the pharmaceutical companies and the tech companies that made a killing, okay, and the large retailers, okay, that put the rest of the small retailers out of business. And you wonder, okay, what's going on? It's right in front of you, okay? It's right in front of everybody, and there's no excuse. If you're going to allow this to happen, you deserve it. You're going to bring me down with you, which is why I'm upset. I'm out.